Hello everyone, we're going to look at solving systems of linear inequalities. So here's my problem, and what we're going to do is we're going to treat this, we're going to take two things that we already know and understand. We know how to solve a system of equations, and we know how to graph an inequality. So really, there's nothing new to what we're doing. We're taking prior knowledge that we've already learned, we're scaffolding it, and we're going to apply it to this problem. So we're going to switch in between working it out by hand and using my math lab system, my Excel. So here's my problem. X plus 4 is greater than, or x plus y is greater than 4, and x minus y is less than 5. X plus y is greater than 4, x minus y is less than 5. Excellent. So the first thing that I need to do with this is I need, just like whenever we look at graphing, I just need to write this as the equivalent equation. And I'll do the same over for this one. Okay, the first thing that I do, because what will get me, and I'll probably even mess this up here, it seems like every one of these I work, I forget this. I just leave it a solid line. I don't pay attention to that. So I'm going to write the word dash down there, and hopefully that'll remind me to make it a dash line. So I like to graph with y equals mx plus b. I don't like using my intercept, so that's how I'm going to rewrite mine. I have y equals a negative x plus 4. So my slope and my y-intercept, and I'll go ahead and do this one. Slope y-intercept. So there's my information. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to graph my line, and I got to remember make them dash lines. So click to enlarge the graph, and now for my first one, my y-intercept was 4. Click on the line, and then my slope was 1, and it was a negative 1. Hey, okay, so I have my dash line. Now my next line, we'll do it one step at a time. Okay, so I have that graphed. Now what I want to do is I want to know which side of the line that I shade on. So I have x plus y equals 4. And remember, pick the easiest number. So I'm going to pick the origin. I'm going to pick the origin. So what I have is 0 plus 0, and I shouldn't have written down equals. It's greater than. It's greater than 4. Is 0 greater than 4? No. So I shade on the opposite side of the origin. So I shade on the opposite side of the origin. So here's the origin, so I'm going to shade on the opposite side of it. There we go. I've shaded on the opposite side. So this helps me to visualize. This is where I'm shading for the first inequality in my system of inequalities. So let's look at the next one. Again, I'm going to use the origin as my point once I graph it. So I will use the origin for that one. So I have for my intercept a negative 5. Oops, click my line. I have a negative 5, and my slope is positive this time. There we go. And dash line. I actually remembered. You guys helped me. So with that being said, I'm going to use the origin here to see if it is a true statement. The other hard part is making sure I switch back and forth between the screen and the paper. So again, I'm going to plug in the origin. Those numbers are easiest to use. I'm good with using zeros in my math. So what I have here is 0 is less than 5. Is that true? Yes. So I'm going to shade in the area for that second line that contains the origin. So on this side, this is the line that I'm dealing with right here. This is linear equality number 2. Okay, so this line right here, I'm going to shade on this side of the origin, but I cannot shade all of this, right? No, because it's not true for the other one. So with what I have shaded already, does that indicate that it's true? Yes. See, I could turn around and I could go in here and I could shade in everything for it. But this, where that little bucket is green, is not true for for my first linear inequality. Only this area that was shaded in is true. So let me delete that. And let's see if we got the correct answer. Yes. So with these problems, you need to make sure that you graph, and by graphing you write it in equation form, and however you choose to graph. If you like using your intercepts, then use those. If you like using y equals mx plus b, use that. It doesn't matter. Graph your equations. Make sure that you do a dash line for greater than or less than, solid line for greater than or equal to, less than or equal to. And then once you have it graphed, then you plug in a point, plug in the easiest point. If you go through the origin, don't use the origin. So plug in the easiest point that you can there that's on one side or the other of that line and solve to see if it's true. And then shade on the corresponding side. For both of those inequalities, you can only have shaded where it is true for both of them. It can only be shaded for where it's true for both of them. Alright guys, good luck on solving these problems. I think that you'll see that you'll incorporate prior knowledge and that the work will be fairly easy.